So our Pecha Kucha train started slightly behind schedule, but by the time we wrapped up, the train's back on track, and hopefully that's what will happen to the railways, the power sector, the roadways sector as well. So thank you very much, all of you, for joining us and making these fantastic presentations. If you only watch primetime TV, a lot of the ground that we've covered in terms of the actual achievements of the Modi Sarkar would probably never be seen on TV. So I'm glad that we could have this session where you were able to speak about the achievements. This is the closest thing to a cabinet meeting in public that we'll ever get to see. You know, three top ministers with us. So I want to start by asking Nitinji about, what a cabinet meeting is like, because people on the outside don't know much about how the Modi Sarkar functions. We've seen a lot of what you've been able to achieve, but people would like to know how much of this is being done by Nitin Gadkari himself, how much is being dictated by the Prime Minister's office. Do people actually get to speak inside a cabinet meeting, or is it one-way traffic? Why don't you try and answer some of these questions? Mr. Gadkari.
Wait, before he talks, I'm sorry, not interfering, but the person who talks the most in the cabinet meeting is Nitin Gadkari ji.
I must also tell everyone sitting here that Piyush Goyal accused us of giving him lesser time than the others, because he came here and suddenly saw that there was a counter going on and said, "Aapne mujhe kam time diya." That's not true. Everybody got the same amount of time, Piyush. Yes, Nitin.
It is one of the tragedy with our party and our government is image versus reality and down reality versus perception. We have very strong discussion in the cabinet. Many times we oppose the views of even whatever the Prime Minister have, and there is a democratic system, and by the system we are taking the decisions. But the perception in the mind of the some of the people, those who are against our government, they want to create that there is no democratic system. The one man say another are only following the thing. This is not the fact. We have a qualitative discussion. Everyone is free. Sometimes Piyush Goyal criticize my policies. Sometimes I criticize Piyush Goyal policies. And it is taking all the thing in a very healthy atmosphere. And we are all working for the interests of the country. We are transparent, time-bound, result-oriented. And first thing is that our cabinet that we are making the policies and taking the decision. Not taking decision is not the policy of our cabinet.
So Piyush, you said that the one who's the most talkative in cabinet meetings is Nitinji. Who talks the least and who gets scolded the most?
I don't know about who talks the least, but what Nitinji says is always a value add. I promise you, its subject could be anything. It's a 360-degree vision that he brings to the cabinet. And sometimes many of us are amazed that about his knowledge, even about innovation, about very oblique subjects which have nothing to do with what he's done in his life. But the person who gets scolded the most is obviously yours truly. And Nitin ji, ठीक बात है. सबसे ज़्यादा डांट अगर किसको पड़ती है तो
आपको क्यों डांट पड़ती है इतनी?
I'm not doing a good enough job.
No. This is not the thing. The initiative taken by the Power Ministry, and I'm not giving compliments to Piyush, but I am always talking that you make the performance of audit for performances. And as far as his audit for his ministry, his achievements are also great. And he is doing and taking constantly decision. And it is a very complicated situation. Many of the important matters are sub judice. There are a lot of criticism from media. And taking the decision related to the coal, related to the power, there are a lot of projects which are in NPA now in power, they are facing the problem. In a situation, the way in which with the transparency, Piyush has taken the decision, it is remarkable. That is one of the reasons that now India is coal surplus. India is coal surplus. And the power point of view, generation capacity is also increased. But we are discussing the issue many times, and there may be difference of opinion, but there are honest difference of opinion. We are not biased about anything.
One of the things that was said as a critique of the Modi government, Nitinji, is that while there's a lot of actual development that's happened and actual work that's been, made to happen, a lot of it is also exaggerated. You'd remember the editorial that T.N. Nainan wrote very recently, where he said that you keep saying that the number of roads being constructed under the UPA were 2 kilometers every day, and you've taken it up to 16. He says that's not necessarily true. It was 11 kilometers earlier. You have been able to increase it. His point was, why exaggerate your claims? If you've done good work, tell people actually what you've done, as opposed to presenting a picture that's rosier than reality.
First of all, at the last time when UPA was, road construction comes to 2 kilometers per day. It is the data available. And today it is 18 kilometers per day. And the data is open. If you want to see it, you can see it on the site. That is the fact. The second important thing is I am talking about the water ports. In Ganga also, we have 5 multimodal hubs. Then 5 ro-ro services are there. 20 floating jetties, 20 cement concrete jetties. So total water port will be coming to Ganga is some 53, 54. Even we can increase more. So by converting 111 rivers into water port, our port strength will be more than 2,000. So I give that example to the honorable editor of the magazine. So it is very difficult to understand the importance of waterways, and because India doesn't have any successful story about it. So that is one of the reasons, but sometimes it is difficult for us to clear the things which are people never seen. Regarding waterways, it is a difficult thing for me that when I am talking anything, it is very difficult for me to convince the people. But one thing, as a journalist, I am telling you, you write down my every declaration in your diary. The journalists, those who don't know me from last 30 years, I never give false promises. I never talk anything nonsense. If I want to do it, I say yes. If I don't do it, I publicly say I'm not going to do it. No. So my record is 100%. When I am making announcement for 100%, you take it from me and today register in your diary that it will be 125% performance, you will get it.
So Piyush, can we extract a promise from all of you? Because I remember tracking Nitish Kumar before the Bihar polls, and one of his campaign points was that if I don't deliver electricity to every village by 2015, I won't ask for votes. Is Piyush Goyal prepared to tell us here at the India Today Conclave that if your very tall promise of ensuring electricity to every Indian by 2019 is not fulfilled, Piyush Goyal and the BJP will not ask people for their votes in 2019?
Well, that's for you to keep discussing about promises and this and that. We are only focused on performance. We'll go into 2019 with performance. In his department, in my department, in Nirmala ji's department, we'll go to the people with our track record. Everybody in this country will have 24/7 energy access in 2019. That's a commitment we are making to the people of India.
Ms. Sitharaman, how far do you think you've been able to come in trying to ensure that there is actual ease of doing business? Because one of your big promises, we are finishing, this is the last question, in 1 minute we'll be done. 1 minute will be finished. 1 minute will be finished. Last question too.
That's unkind for me. 1 minute and you asking me a question about ease of doing business? Never mind. Go ahead.
Yes. So I want to know, because there are lots of young budding entrepreneurs, how easy it is today in comparison with 2 years ago to actually start up and set up and stand up in India?
I would believe it is far easier now, and you have a government which is hearing and listening to what is required to be done. We are also engaging with the states. Piyush referred during his presentation to cooperative federalism. We in our ministry are actually executing it through the states. States have been absolutely cooperative with us. I've not had the experience of even one state telling me, I'm sorry, these things cannot be done in my state, because they realize that if only they do many of the things which are now collectively being engaged in, they stand to benefit. They stand to get better investments. And therefore, ease of doing business is something which is work which is getting done. 99 hurdles were removed. 340 more are being removed by the end of this year. Otherwise, this government would not have had the courage to engage a completely independent, that's for you, not for me, a completely independent consultant, be guided by the World Bank in terms of the parameters, and then put the states to be ranked as to which state is better on ease of doing business. And that's going to happen this year too. So, yes, today's India is far better than any other time in ease of doing business.
So, Mr. Nitin Gadkari is required to be at Rashtrapati Bhavan at 12:45. He has exactly 12 minutes to get there, so I won't hold him back anymore. Thank you very much to all our ministers for joining us. There was a spirit of healthy competition in their offices. All their staff calling to say, "Dusre mantri ka presentation aaya kya? Kaisa lag raha hai?" So it's fantastic to see that healthy competition. Thank you very much, all of you, for joining us.
Would request the ministers to stay on stage as I quickly call upon Mr. Arun Puri, Chairman, Editor-in-Chief, the India Today Group, to present a small token of our appreciation to the Honourable Ministers. A big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. That was a riveting session. Thank you.
Incident, a promising young kabaddi player was shot dead on the streets of Rohtak in Haryana. What's truly alarming is that the fatal shooting was caught on camera on Tuesday afternoon. Kabaddi player Sukhwinder Singh,
Of living a quiet, happy, boring life, so I decided to get married, and my wife says, welcome to hell, boy. But the episode ain't that bad. It's just about alright, above average.